Hi everyone, welcome into this week's My Weekly CBS Fix. Hope you had an amazing week. Hope you're getting ready for this amazing Passover holiday. So this week's Parsha Tzav, tells us about the alacrity that we have when it comes towards serving Hashem. The word Tzav means a word of zerizis, which means alacrity or doing something with gusto and zest and speed and doing a mitzvah, meaning realizing the value that the mitzvah has, and that'll allow you to do it in excitement. So if you found out that you won the Mega Millions, what are you going to do? You're going to take your time, you're going to yawn, and then you're going to make your way eventually. Then when you get some time, you're going to eventually make your way down to the lottery office? No, you're going to go the second you find out. So we have to realize the value of mitzvahs, which of course brings us to the holiday of Pesach, Passover, and what we have to think about when we're eating the matzah. The word mitzvos and matzos, they sound the same, and the middle two letters is the word Tzav, which is this alacrity that we're supposed to have towards doing the mitzvahs and give us that excitement and spur us on to do them. Now, I was just thinking that the word matzos and mitzvos are spelled mem, tzadi vav, and then a suf at the end. So tzadi vav is in the middle, and the outside is the word mem, the letters mem suf, which make up the word mace, which means dead. So I was thinking, what's the connection? What does it mean, alacrity, death? Well, what's the connection? And I was thinking that if somebody does a mitzvah, but they don't have the right alacrity, the right awareness, the right excitement towards that mitzvah, and they don't realize the value of it, in a certain sense, the person is dead, or the mitzvah that he did is kind of done in a dead way, and it doesn't have that value that it could have. And one of the lessons that we learned when the Jewish people went out of Mitzrayim, so our sages tell us, Chacham lev yikach mitzvah. Somebody who's wise of heart, wise of mind, he takes mitzvahs. Now, what does that mean? That means our sages tell us that while the Jewish people were busy collecting all the wonderful treasures that were spitting out from the Red Sea, as the Jewish people crossed over, the Egyptians died, and all their money and all the gold, and there was this massive fortune. Everybody left there, like our sages tell us, with 90 donkeys full of treasures and a lot of money. Where was Moses? Where was Moshe Rabbeinu? He was taking Joseph's ark, Joseph's casket. And Joseph had been buried in Egypt. And he said, please, when you remember me, please bring me out. When you guys leave, please take me out with you. And Moshe himself busied himself with Joseph's casket, making sure that his aron, that his casket actually was brought to the land of Israel along with the Jewish people, and that's why today he's buried in Israel. And so that means while everybody else was collecting money, Moshe Rabbeinu was worried about this mitzvah. Why? Because it was very clear to Moshe that as much value as money and gold and silver may have, it pales in comparison to the mitzvah that he was able to do himself, of being able to be metapel, to care for for Joseph's burial. And what was his reward for that? That when it came time to Moshe dying, when it came time to Moses dying, Hashem himself, as it were, took care of his burial. Nobody else was involved with that. And we can't imagine we have to remember, we think like there are certain things, like people get all too caught up in the money aspect and we forget the real value of something. And there's so many times that we'll spend X amount of money to be able to do a mitzvah, to realize the value of the mitzvah. It's our job to always try to remind ourselves in any way we can the value of doing a mitzvah, whether it's giving charity, whether it's buying expensive matzah, or whether it's keeping Shabbos and giving up on money. We have to realize, like we've said before, we never lose when we do what Hashem wants. And at the same time, even when we realize the right thing will happen to us, we're going to do the right thing, Hashem is always going to help us. But our obligation is to do this mitzvah with alacrity. Hashem wants us to do it with this tzav, with this zrizis, with this excitement. Why? Because like that, we can actually live by it and not be the mace. And we can do the matzahs, and we can do the mitzvos, and we can do everything together. And we have to realize when we're eating the matzah, we have to realize the value of eating the matzah has. And this is a very, very important lesson for us as the Jewish people, as a prerequisite for us to accepting the Torah, which is going to be the holiday of Shavuos, which will be in 7 weeks from Pesach time. So we have to get ourselves enthused about the mitzvahs, and we have to do them with excitement, with alacrity, and there's so many other points we're trying to say, but try to keep it short. But the Chacham Lev Yikach Mitzvahs, somebody who is wise of counsel will always try to find any way to purchase mitzvahs, to take the mitzvah, to take what he's got over there, these diamonds on the road. And so my blessing to you is you should have a wonderful, it should be a sweet Pesach as well. And as you're chewing the matzah, think about the mitzvah that you're doing. Be it Tzav, be it Zariz, be someone who does things with alacrity. And like that, you'll truly feel alive and be able to have your own small acceptance of the Torah come Shavuos time as well. Thank you for listening. You should feel the chayris, feel the freedom. There's nobody that's free unless somebody who learns Torah. So thank you for always listening. Thank you for always learning Torah together with me. Have an amazing, amazing Passover holiday.